Hello all, welcome to the lecture series on effective technical communication, and today we will be looking at the second topic from the third unit, that is note taking while reading. So note taking, as you all know, or just don't know about it, you have done it, because when you take notes in class, when the professor is lecturing and all of these things, so you know what note taking is, right? So note taking is taking down notes either while listening to something or while reading something, especially if you have to remember them, and you basically take notes in order for your academic purpose, or if you want to remember something you know so that is why we take down notes. Okay, now note taking requires a particular procedure. Okay, because of course many of us can take notes, but there are many of us who cannot, or who do not know actually the correct way to take down notes. Okay, and that is when they actually mess up with the information, because they don't know what is important and what is not important. They try to take down everything. So note taking means, of course, you take down notes, but not everything. You only take down the information which is relevant and which is important. Okay, so that is your note taking. So note taking is a systematic method of writing down quickly, briefly and clearly the important points of a reading text. There are various types of notes, such as concept ordering notes, revision notes, research notes, comparative notes and analytical notes. So these are the various kinds of notes that you have. Okay, now what are the different strategies to take down notes? What are the different strategies to follow while taking down notes? So first is a reading strategy. Okay, so you have to read the text very carefully so as to take down notes. You have to read in order to identify the central idea, the purpose, the scope, the logical organization and the different types of writing techniques. And you have to read the text again and again and again in order to identify what the main points are and what the important details are, and the details that support the main ideas. Of course, you will ignore the subordinate points which are there but which you do not need to take note of, because if you remember the main point, you will remember the subordinate point as well. And when you are reading a text, you should look for the key points and the signal words which which take you to other words. Okay, irrelevant matter should be ignored and you should always concentrate on the main point. So this is your reading strategy. Now the next strategy that we have is topicalizing. Now what is topicalizing? Topicalizing refers to writing down a word or a phrase to represent a section of a text. So while rephrasing the section of the text or the sentence, unnecessary or redundant words or phrases should be removed. So topicalizing means you are rephrasing, or you are writing down a word or a phrase. Okay, a word or a phrase will do to represent a section of a text. To represent a section of a text means that word and that particular phrase will actually help you to identify the section, or to help you to remember which section of the text it was from. Okay, and when you are rephrasing the section of the text, you should be doing away with any unnecessary or redundant words or phrases, okay, which do not have that much of importance. Alright, the next we have is schematizing. Now schematizing means ordering notes in the form of tables and diagrams for easy and accurate readback. So basically you order your notes in the form of tables and diagrams. In that way, you will be able to remember well, because you will have a graphic image of what comes after the other, which you do not tend to remember if you are taking down written notes. So you always if you are a person who can remember information through graphs and through visual aids, then this is one particular strategy that you should follow. And what is the name of this strategy? The name of this strategy is schematizing, where you use tables and diagrams in order to remember your content. Okay, next comes reduction devices. So reduction devices are basically nothing but using abbreviations and symbols. So what happens is that when you are taking down notes, as I tell you, you have to use a particular economy of words when you are taking down notes. Okay, you cannot write an epic in the form of notes, all right, or in the name of notes. Your notes should be very concise, very brief, and very short. And in order to shorten your information, in order to retain long information in the in very short way, one such way is your uh, reduction device. And the reduction devices are abbreviations and symbols. So you use short forms for various uh, for uh, for various uh, expanded words. Like blind carbon copy, you use BCC, for instance, so that you do not have to use so many letters and it will take more of your time, right? Next comes organization technique. So when the text contains a lot of information, the notes have to be organized in terms of headings and subordinate points. Okay, so basically what happens is that when you have a very when you have too many information to remember, you should be organizing them in the form of topics and subtopics, because these will actually help you remember your stuff. Again, organizing means you have a particular structure in your mind, that what comes after the other. So this will actually help you remember things, and as well as retain things, and as well as understand your content properly. Okay, then comes methods of sequencing. Sequencing refers to the process of making a clear layout for fast and accurate interpretation of notes. So basically you do sequencing for fast and accurate interpretation of notes. Okay, so but so basically sequencing means you number your notes like 1 2 3 4 in the form of points. Okay, so that you remember them well. So two standard practices for sequencing notes include the use of numerals and letters, and decimalization. So either you use numerals or letters in order to uh, structure your notes in the form of points, or you use decimalization like point 1, point 1, point 1, point 2, point 1, point 3, like that. Okay, so this is all about note taking. Okay, we will get back again with the next lecture on the unit 4 of soft skills and interpersonal skills. Thank you for listening.